Hi everyone, Santiago Martinez here from the Arena, and today we're talking about budgets. So we've added to the Arena Toolbox a budget template, and really any budget is essential tool for any campaign, and used in tandem with your campaign plan, the budget can help you allocate resources from now until election day. And this is a tool that can also be really helpful in establishing fundraising benchmarks based off of the real needs of the campaign. Now, a budget can also help managers track the detailed spending in a few different key areas, from staffing salary, equipment, offices, voter contact program, and consulting and even paid media. The template that we've created goes month by month and allows you to customize different phases to your campaign so you can summarize your spending in a way that makes sense. And it'll also help you track the incoming fundraising dollars or cash on hand. And really, any budget template is supposed to be a kind of a living, breathing document. And so we've created yet another Google spreadsheet, which I'm sharing on my screen. And really, this is meant to make it easier for candidates and campaign leadership to collaborate and communicate with one another to make big budget decisions in real time. So first tab, like any of our documents, has a kind of quick guide for how to navigate this document and how to use the different cells and the different color coding. So the yellow cells, like any other document that we've created, is fully editable by you, the user. Light blue cells, there's just a little bit more, they're fully editable, but there's suggestion. And this is actually where we'll establish phases of the campaign. Gray cells are calculating monthly totals for us and subtotals, and the dark gray is giving us our total spending for the entire campaign. So some important things to note here. Here's a little bit about what each tab is. There's some helpful tips here as well for adding additional rows to this so that you can kind of maintain some of the formatting and formulas that we've put into this document in case you need to add additional rows. We've packed a lot in here, which you'll see in a second, but our first tab is budget summary. This is to give you a high-level view of what is happening with this budget. Budgets can oftentimes be overwhelming, and ours has a lot of information packed into it. So we wanted to have a place where you could quickly summarize and get a high-level view of spending at key moments of your different campaign of your campaign. Take a look at the total, and how does the allocation of spending break down among the key categories for your campaign, and then what does the total spending look like for each phase and for the entire duration of the campaign. This is all information with the exception of the mail, digital ads, and TV that feed in from the full budget tab. The mail, digital ads, and television sections here, you can just input in directly in these yellow cells the spending related to those, and that's just, they get treated just a little bit different than the other budget items. Now, in the full budget section, you see the full spreadsheet, which can be a little overwhelming, but this is again where we're breaking down every single line item of spending. And so there's a lot of detail here. And in the first part of this, which I'll highlight here on my screen, you can see where we are, the key categories, the actual line item where we actually list out, each either member of staff, computer, or phone, a piece of hardware that we're buying to support the campaign, or field offices. We list out what those are. There might be way more than you actually need here, so feel free to mark those as 0 or delete anything related to some of these, because you might not actually have them on your campaign. You might be running a smaller operation. You can also add descriptions. You can enter in what is the monthly cost or salary related to that, and you'll see that's all connected to calculate what it would be an annual salary. We're at a particular point in the calendar where we might not be paying somebody the full annual salary, but it's helpful to know in terms of what that would calculate out to, and how that might be useful when you're recruiting somebody to say, or looking for somebody with a certain level of expertise. The middle section here is where you can indicate at the top what phases of the campaign you're in. So that's fully editable, and you can change that. That just will impact how the data gets summarized on the budget summary tab. Here you can also indicate the number of staff or items that you might be purchasing at a particular point in the campaign. So if you're staffing up, there might be, for example, you might not get a digital director until later in the cycle, or a field director until the summer. In the case of organizers, you might actually get multiple organizers. So this is where you can come in and put in the numeric value for how many items or staff that you might be acquiring at a particular point of the campaign. And then to the right, it'll summarize and calculate, based on the number of staff or items that you've acquired and the monthly cost or the one-time cost, it'll calculate in the right-hand cells what the monthly cost is for each of those items, and then give us a subtotal for that category. And then at the bottom, it'll calculate what is the total monthly cost for that, and then the overall total cost for the campaign. Just below that, either the campaign manager or finance director can come in and put what is the monthly income based off of fundraising. This is helpful because just below that, we'll also calculate the difference between the total costs, fundraising, and what is the total cash on hand for the campaign. Your finance director might have multiple spreadsheets or something different, but this is just another place where you can kind of bring two pieces of information together, and this is used to input into this budget visualization graph that's dynamic and will change as you make changes to the full budget to be able to show us, where do we stand with respect to our total costs, total income, and cash on hand, and be able to look at that and see that through to GOTV and election day. So this is our budget template. As you go through and make changes to this tab, both the budget visual tab and the budget summary tab will also update. Budget summary tab, great for giving kind of a high level view of where things stand. This is a great page to screenshot, add to a plan or to an email. The budget visual, same thing, can just be helpful in giving, what is that top line information that's helpful to know. But that is our budget summary. Wish you the best of luck in using it, and look forward to sharing more tools with you.